Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. The #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast. We got a special episode for you guys today. Myself, Majin, and we got 3 members of ABG Always Be Gaming. We got TyGuy, Arax, and Gibs. Before we jump over to them, though, I just have a few announcements. First, thank you to all our subscribers on the website. As always, hundreds of you guys supporting us. Really appreciate it. Growing every day. We are doing a 1 month for all people that aren't subscribed. We're doing a first month $1 trial for the next week. You can find it on the website, or the link will be in the description of this YouTube video. If you're listening at home, go to the website. It'll be up on there as well. We have some cool stuff coming for our subscribers for the weeks of July 3rd to 7th. So this is Monday to Friday. And then the next week, July 10th to 14th. Every evening, we are going to be having a tournament at 5:30 Pacific. It's going to be single elimination. Typical best of 3. Winner's going to get $20. And for each one of the weeks, we're going to have a points breakdown. And so whoever gets the most points, one of the weeks, they're going to play me for $100. And then one of the weeks, they're going to play Majin. I'm telling him right now, this is how he's finding out. They're going to play Majin a match for $100. So lots of fun there for our subscribers. The reason that we're starting on that week, which is next week, this coming week, is because we have our Mastering Runeterra tournament coming on, as I stall for time to look up when it is. I want to say July 8th. Looks like July 8th. July 8th, 9 a.m. PST standard. This time, $2,000 guaranteed prize pool, still $20 entry. They were $1,000 guaranteed before. We were going over $2,000 on most of them. We're just bumping it up. We're pushing it. So July 8th, we're going to have that tournament. So the week leading up to it, we're going to have our subscriber tournaments. And we'll have our big $2,000 tournament. The next week, we'll have subscriber tournaments again. And then it's the Riot Open, the first one of the new season. So lots of tournaments for you guys to play in, lots of chance to get practice in. And then we have the other 2 Mastering Runeterra tournaments coming. Will be July 29th, which is, it sounds strange, but the Worlds qualifier is like August, the beginning of August. So ours is the week before. So it's July 29th. And then the Eternal one will be on August the 26th. So again, July 8th, July 29th, August 26th, $2,000 guaranteed prize pool tournaments, Mastering Runeterra opens. Okay, got all of that done. I think that's all of our announcements. Let's see. We also have, Majin got us a sponsor here. Looks like from Manscaped. Is that no, we haven't secured that. Okay, never mind. Okay. All right, guys. ABG, welcome to the podcast. I don't even know where to start with you guys. ABG's been around for like forever. TyGuy and I were talking after he won the first Eternal Open. Tiburon was like, "What the heck? You guys have Cup on and not the winner. You get the second place." And TyGuy was like, "Hey man, I just wanted to make sure that that was cool." Whatever. I was like, "Oh man, Tiburon and I go way back." He was there at the formation of the Mastering Runeterra website. He was one of our first writers. He's always supported us. He's awesome. And there's like a million of you guys, right? Like I can't actually keep it straight. You're in like all the shards. There's like so many of you. I just like see ABG and I'm like, okay, they're one of those guys. Like who was that other team where there was like a million of them?
TKG maybe? Yeah,
Nah, there was like, was it TKG?
yeah, they
Yeah.
have like
TKG
30
is
layers
one
or
of
so.
those. Yeah.
I don't think they're around anymore. But do you remember it was like just like everyone in their yeah, Maji, you remember what I'm talking about, right? I can't remember. Maybe it was ABG. No, it was something else. There was some team I can't remember. It's like obviously everyone's like just literally everyone was on this team. Now I can't remember. All right, it's fine. It'll come to me. Okay, you guys, give us a little intro. TyGuy, we'll start with you. Congratulations on your win. Very impressive. Give us a little bit of your background, your time with ABG, and we'll go through you guys real quick.
Yeah, thanks. So I've been playing card games, since I was a kid, playing kitchen table Magic with my dad,
Nice.
At least when it comes to like playing digitally and playing competitive, I started over COVID in 2020, playing actually Shadowverse, kind of more niche, coming from Japan. And then after a few years of playing that, got a few like pretty decent finishes, nothing too crazy. I was getting kind of tired of how the game was playing and such, and I was feeling out other games again. I played LOR since beta, and then I think like 2022, late 2021, started picking it up more. Went from like Iron to Masters in like one season because I was playing like Fizz Papercraft back when like that was like popular. And then I came to Tiburon with like a gaming resume essentially of hey, I was on Mana Surge, like a Shadowverse team. I've got like this kind of like finishes and stuff. Could I be on ABG? And here we are.
Nice. Okay, real quick, give us a little just a little nutshell of your win, of your prep. Did you come in feeling really confident? What decks did you play? Did you switch out from day one to day two?
Now for that Eternal Open, nothing was hitting for me day one. Like when I was like trying to do like my day one prep, nothing was like kind of working for me at all. It feels like with how open the field was. But then for our APAC players, I think two players top cutted with Karma Status Eye, Trundle Orn Timelines, and then Samira Seraphine. And I was like, you know what? Two of our gamers did it. I bet I can too. So that took me to the top cut for day two. And then in day two, after I messaged Boulevard talking about different lineups and such, bouncing off ideas, the Rise, Karma, Samira Seraphine lineups just felt like a really good idea for me because I've always been someone who really enjoys playing these spell-focused, spell-spammy decks. And so I usually play the best when I'm in my element, and I was able to play in my element.
Yeah, nice. That's 100% true. Honestly, like I think it's so much better to play like tier 2 decks that you are like you love and inside and out than it is to play tier 1 decks. So you're like, I hate my life. I wish I was doing anything else right now. Being in your element, knowing your decks, enjoying them is like just so huge. And if they're tier 1 decks, you enjoy them and you're gonna play them. That's a recipe for success for sure. Also, what is this with everyone messaging Boulevard? I didn't realize like literally every single person after that was like, I messaged Boulevard. He told me this, so I it just worked out. Like I messaged Boulevard like, hey man, want a bunch of money to like come cast my things? He's like, okay. those are like the extent of my conversations with Boulevard. I need to start fucking hitting him up more. If anyone's what?
He gave me like
Boulevard's
a
kind
really
of the
detailed
man.
like explanation, like when we were like he gave me like, oh yeah, this is how many like I think will like make top like people bring this in top cut. This is like what I think like might get second. This is like what might change based on like the EMEA results. Like it was super detailed. Like he put in like a lot of work into like responding to me.
Damn. Yeah, I mean his tournament technicians are fantastic, and I want to put it out there when I'm like, here's a bunch of money. It's more like a crisp high five, really, but just so everyone's aware that he's not like rolling it over there.
So he always says shout out to Boulevard and no one else when people ask him for shout outs or whatever. And when I won seasonals and they asked me, is there anybody you want to shout out? I was so close to saying shout out to Boulevard and nobody else. Even though like we didn't even like talk back then. I just thought it would be so funny. And then I didn't do it. I chickened out.
Yeah, I win another one. All right, let's keep moving around. Arax.
Well, I'm from Argentina. I've been playing LOR since beta. I'm 24 years old, and I've been playing competitively card games since I was 12, I think. I started with Yu-Gi-Oh! And like the very first tournament, like big tournament that I played with 12 years old, I like destroyed the competition, and after that point, it all went like Southside. But yeah, I love TCGs. I've worked in the development of a few here in Argentina. It's just my passion. Like card games are what I do and what I love. And yeah, I've been in ABG since the beginning. T-Ron hit me up. He wanted a strong Latin representation. At that moment, I was streaming as well, so it was like a Latin personality, right? Always around. And we formed a team with Roggio and Cello, two of the finest Latin players. So we joined ABG, and we have been playing under the demonic since the beginning.
Awesome. What's your favorite kind of deck? What's your wheelhouse?
I'm all for combo decks, to be fair. Yeah, I'm playing the
Yeah, you can stay. You can stay. Okay, good. I was just making sure.
The Nidalee new decks. I've been playing the NAR one, and some people have been telling me that okay, you should play this and this. Yeah, that could be better, but that wouldn't be combo. If I played it like more tempo or more mid range, I just want to play this way, and I've been jamming Nidalee combo.
Nice.
I played Gwen Nidalee last night, where it's like hollowed units, and then like Nidalee, the Tycoon.
Oh, dude, I fucked a guy up playing that deck last night. I fucked. Oh wait, actually, it was me. It was. This is off. This is off.
It was like, oh man, I was sitting there and I was like, I just need like one more card and then I win the game. I was like, I'm so close, because like usually what you do is you chip in some damage, and then you flip up your overwhelm guy and he attacks for 17. And it like just blows because you have like the hollowed stack, and like it's so funny because if you have an overwhelm unit and the Tycoon, you attack with the hollowed stacks, it buffs your like bush guy. Let's say it makes it a 6/2, and then they have to block, and then you flip it up, and then it doubles. So instead of doubling 6 power for the overwhelm guy, it doubles 10 power, and like it's so fun.
Yeah.
That's. Speaking of combos, I lost to Squeeby yesterday. I was beating the crap out of him. He's at like 1 or something. And then he went like, what is it? The overwhelm thing where if it hits the Nexus, it deals like half.
Oh yeah.
And then Drake? No. What's the 6-drop that like goes to 10 power when they have 10? Darius. Yeah. And so he literally just 19 me from. He was like, I had blockers. I was at 19. He went like guy and just like 20'd me. Okay, moving on. Well, shout out to Squeeby, by the way. Love that guy. Gibbs, give us the rundown.
Yeah, so I kind of break the trend here. LOR is my first real card game. I played a little bit of Hearthstone when I first started college and stuff. I was never really into it. Shout outs to Q Block. It's the only deck I actually made and performed with. Never even made Legend though, so can't really add that to my resume. I started...
It's not worth it. Legend of Hearthstone, not worth it.
But I started playing LOR at Rising Tides pretty casually at first. I just enjoyed the game. It was fun to play during COVID. And then I hit Masters, and I started trying to compete, and it's just gone downhill from there, you know? I was actually... So, okay. This is a story. This is going to loop into the whole how ABG started thing. So when I first started getting into tournaments and stuff, I reached out to a team that was recruiting on the competitive LOR subreddit. I think it was TMG. They were recruiting people for APAC and America. It lasted a single day. But of the people they were trying to recruit from America, we made our own Discord, and we kind of tried to cobble together a team off of that. And we had some pretty big names in that. This was early on before they made their names, but we had Darkodius, we had Bitter, some really high quality players in there.
Yeah, Bitter's great. Who's that other guy?
Darkodius. I don't know. I just forgot his name all of a sudden.
Okay.
But that's actually where I met Wick, and we hit it off. We became friends. We were hanging out a bunch, practicing, prepping. I actually was in charge of a matchup table that I had to hand make because back in the day, the only real good data was Mobalytics. So I would just hand.
Who?
Exactly. And so I would just hand make it, and it was great. And then I dipped out of the game for a little bit, and then Wick became a giant Twitter monster, and he was like, "Hey, I'm starting a team. Do you want to join?" And yeah, that's how that happened.
And the rest is history. Awesome. How many members do you guys have now? And are you in all 3 shards?
So, okay, it's difficult. Like,
You don't even know. There's so many. You're like, I'm not sure. The head counts
there's
every
a
day.
lot.
It varies.
People in our Discord, we have probably like 100 with the competitive player tag. People we like will put into stuff like Aegis. I think we have a roster of about 25 to 30 people between the 3 shards. EMEA is our smallest right now. We're kind of losing the head count on how many people we have there. Lear's the most prominent member of our EMEA squad. But most...
Shout out Lear.
Totally.
He's great. But most of our people are located in APAC and the Americas shard.
Nice. Okay, what else should people know about ABG as we kind of wrap it up? What are you guys' plans now? I'm not gonna lie, ABG I always thought was kind of a joke when you guys first started off, mostly for some people's Twitter's comments who shall remain nameless. It seemed memey. I didn't realize there was actually a competitive team brewing under the surface. It seemed like a lot of people just having a good time, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I didn't take it as like a Red Pup Games kind of thing where it's just everyone wants to, kind of crush and be better.
Mm-hmm. ABG, it's a lot of things because we have a lot of people with a lot of different goals for the community. Some people want to make content, some people want to write, some people want to be Twitter monsters. We got a lot of those, I'll admit. But we started our competitive team about 2 years ago. Obviously, we wanted to recruit a lot of really good people, like Arax, like TyGuy, Roshio, Shelu, a lot of really good Latam talent. But one of the things we got a reputation for early on was also like inviting people that just wanted to compete and to be a part of the team, and we would try and like develop those players out. So we had some people that weren't the best players when they started, who have just solidly improved as time has gone on. We do scrims, VOD review, internal tournaments, all sorts of stuff, and we just try and build out what we can, continue to improve. Always be gaming.
Always be gaming. Love it. Yeah, I mean, the name's fantastic. I'm not going to lie. Okay, speaking of competitive, I wanted to get everyone's thoughts as we are leaving the first season, going into the second season. I mean, this is the first of these seasons we've ever had. It's interesting. I hope that this is sort of the system that we kind of stay with and like keep going with in the future, and they kind of just iterate on it and make it better and better. Because like Magic has, jumped around between different types of organized play like crazy. Like there's been so many different things. They've come like full circle now, all the way back to like pro tours and stuff. So who knows? Who knows? We had this season. I just assume that we'll have these seasons for a while, but like we had seasonals, it was 5 rounds, and then we had seasonals, it was 9 rounds, and then it was like, 2 weekends, it was 1 weekend, and now we have this. And so things are always changing. But it was interesting to see see it play out. And I want to get everyone's thoughts on, things that went well, things that they think maybe need improvement. How fair is it? Or do you like, where it's at with the difficulty level of qualifying for Worlds? Because it is quite difficult. Is it too difficult? Is it in the right place? Should it be like, a little bit perhaps easier? Module, let's start with you. Give us your thoughts.
I wish they addressed this, but last season I remember thinking that I wish the points curve for top cuts was a little more smooth, a little less spiky, because it was very spiky, right? Like I top cut all 4 and was still like behind someone who first placed 1, I think, or like tied with them or something, and I was like, oh, that kind of like, yeah, you won, you should get a lot of points or whatever, but like Oh, that sucks. It's like you really need a top 4, at least one, in order to like be in the running.
Yeah.
And that felt pretty bad. They addressed that, which is really nice. I'm interested to see how the new ladder changes affect things, where it's like Masters is completely the only thing that matters is your LP and your opponent's LP. There's no hidden MMR, which I think is like, I think it's, I think you don't like it, but I think it's good because it's basically, what was happening before, but it's just not hidden, and then they can tweak the numbers to make it work.
You motherfuckers don't
As is.
know. You don't know what you're fucking in for. This is, well, let me give you a little fucking snapshot. You're gonna, you Kuakos and Majits and what am I of the world, you're gonna run up the ladder, you're gonna get all your LP, and then people like me are gonna roll off the couch with like 0 LP, like 2 weeks into it, and be like, oh, you have 1,000 LP and I have 0 LP. Like our skill level is like, not actually that different, but our LP is like this. So when I beat you, I'm gonna get like 26 LP. If you beat me, I'm gonna lose 2 and you're gonna win 2. Like good fucking luck beating me like 14-1 to actually try to climb, right? Like it's just, so what's gonna happen is you're gonna hit a ceiling and you just won't be able to, it'll be impossible to climb. No matter how good, because your win percentage will have to be like 80 or 90% or something to climb, because you'll be getting paired against people that are solo. That's what I think is going to happen. We still don't know just yet, like what the actual numbers are, how much it that's what happened at Magic is all I'm saying.
I think the difference is that they'll cap the spread.
I mean, it was capped in Magic too.
Was it? You could only win 2, because that won't happen here. I don't think.
Well, there was a point where like you could almost win 0 if you were so far ahead of people. Like there was you'd be so far ahead you would draw with them, you'd like lose 2 points kind of thing.
You're like, sick, yeah, dope. I had a Flesh and Blood tournament where my ranking was like really high, and then I played like 7 matches, lost 1, and my Hilo went down. I was like,
that's what I'm talking about.
But it's different. It's LP up down. I think it'll be capped like it was before. Before it was -27 +15 is like the ends. It can't. Your plus can't go any lower. Your minus can't go any higher. And so I think something like that will happen as well. We'll just end up actually seeing more in between, besides both you and me having -27 +10, +15.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, you could be right. And then if you play against someone else that's a high level, then you do actually jump 16, up a bit more.
14 or
it's gonna be interesting. I'm holding judgment until we see how it actually works. Yeah,
it gives them more levers to adjust. I feel like this is better than a hidden MMR system. If there's a problem, then I'll yell at them on Twitter, and we'll all be upset, and then they'll do something about it. They've shown that they are actively paying attention and trying to make this better.
Totally agree.
So,
yeah. Anything else? Anything else that you really liked
from a competitive? Loved having a tournament obviously loved having a tournament every month. That was so sick. Instead of just going, all right, it's the season. Practice for 3 months for this, and then you drop 1 game and you're like, I'm out. All right, next 3 more months. Here we go.
See you next quarter.
Yeah. Bye guys. Yeah, that sucked. So now it's really nice, especially when it's like the same season, like Eternal, or let's go with the standard one, right? The standard one, you had the first one, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of feeling this out. This deck really worked for me. This kind of didn't. This balanced patch is being introduced. Let's start tweaking this kind of stuff, and then I get to build on my prep for the second one, for the Worlds qualifier from the first one, and that felt really nice because we haven't really had that before.
Yeah. Okay, let's go around the room. TyGuy, so you were telling us before we started recording that you obviously won the first Eternal Open, but you missed qualifying for Worlds off of 1 or 2 points.
Yeah. So the story here, right? I win. I do pretty okay in the standard opens, right? I think I missed 1 qual. I qualified for the Worlds. I then won a round, then lost in round 2 of day 2, and then I win the Eternal Open, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm sitting at a pretty respectable point total. Even Hash said
do you remember what it was?
Oh gosh, I think it was 17 points. Yeah, it was 17
Probably
points.
about, yeah, 16, 17.
Yeah. Without ladder.
Yeah, without ladder. I was pretty high on ladder. I think I was still top 10. And Hash, in the winning interview, he said, as long as you don't int, that Worlds qualification's yours, right? And I'm like, got it, cool. Going to next week, thinking about day 1 of decks again. Nothing's really working from what I'm feeling out, right? Go in with my day 2 lineup that I won with the last Eternal Open just to go for comfort, right? Because those decks that still, felt good for me. you know, maybe like the stress of like playing 2 big tournaments like week to week was getting to me. I don't know. But after winning that open, it feels like whatever like hidden MMR system there is for the Eternal Opens is like wild too, because the Eternal Open I won, I fought I think only Swiffer as like a name I recognized, right? Then the next Eternal Open, I fought 3 ABG members, Ash, which was funny because I feel like I fight that guy like every week, and then 4LW as well. So it was like my lineup of opponents was like way better, which led to some really interesting matches, but like way more difficult. But I get kind of close to making day 2. I'm not able to make it, which then Flock makes day 2, gets pretty decently in, and he is a point ahead of me. But because I have the farther finish, I win on tiebreakers. So I'm like, and he's right in, you know, when that tournament ended, he was sitting at like pretty low on the Eternal ladder, like 200 LP or something. And he needed to get like 1800 LP to get to like the World School, to get the top 10, because I was pretty confident to say top 10. So I was like, surely he doesn't get that much LP in like, you know, a little over a week, right? Surely, come on. Even like message to my players, like I don't know this guy that much. He probably isn't going to make it. He gets like 600 LP in like the first day right after the Open, and I'm like, yeah, it's over. It's over. He's climbing. He's got it. It's a very easy season to climb too, because it's just like an undisputed best deck, and you can just like play that for like 200 games, and you're going to make top 10. You know?
Yeah, and also it became a bit of a joke at the end because like no one, like there's nothing to grind for anymore, so people are just memeing around, having fun. None of the top players are like even playing.
Yeah, like when I realized that he was going to make top 10, I just like stopped competing for top 10 as well, because there wasn't like as much I would be gaining from that.
You would just lose if you both made top 10.
Yeah, I would still lose if we both made top 10, because he'd be a point ahead of me. We would not be tied. So
wait, hold on. You're telling me you didn't get your like 50 ABG brothers together and it was like, Eternal Ladder, boys, let's go! Plug it! Everyone in the top 10!
Have everyone trying to keep over him?
Yeah.
we were joking about that for a minute, actually. We were like, what if like enough of us just like push for top 10 and we just bully everyone else out of it? Right? We had like a few members who were like kind of decently up there. But I couldn't ask that for my teammates at all. Like I couldn't do that to them. But I still feel pretty happy with my position. Like I have like a lot of points for like the end of the year point totals. I'm feeling like, you know, I'm feeling more confident about my play, which I think is a major point, and like playing well is having confidence. So I feel like I can do pretty good in these upcoming tournaments this season and then next season as well. I feel like qualifying for Worlds is really easy. Because like, you know, after this season, yeah, I can't wait for those wins to bite me in the butt, right?
Easy. Laser.
Because like when you think about it, right? Like already some of the strongest players in America is already qualified. You don't have to worry about any of them for point totals, right? Like Floppy, you don't got to worry about. Card Gamer, Drizoff, like people who, you know, I give a lot of respect to and who I see as very valuable competitors. I don't have to worry about them when it comes to like competing point totals. And I feel like when you come to the end of the year, we already have gone through like 20 plus so players when it comes to points. Like as long as you can play like reliably, well, I feel like you can, play consistently. I feel like you can top, and they've made that even easier by rounding out the point totals, and like getting rid of the top 10 for ladder points. So like you don't need to get top 10 for like the 5 points. You can get like top 25 for the 4 points, which like they've rounded that out a little more, so you don't have to like hard ladder grind, which I feel like is kind of inting. If you do it like before the opens, because you're like wasting prep time, you can do in other things. Like those changes are really positive for, you know, actually top cutting and playing consistently well.
Yeah, it's strange. The changes that they made, sorry, real quick, the changes that they made to ladder, I actually like, would probably make me play ladder more, because when it was like top 10 getting points and stuff, I was like, I'm never going to be able to put enough volume to like go against a lot of these people. Also, like you said, you could just play after the opens, or like play the Eternal Open, which I think is really just messed up, where people have to play standard for 3 months, but you can just play the Eternal ladder for 1 month and then like still get the same points. Like it doesn't make any sense. And then they got rid of the Eternal ladder again. Like bring it back. bring it back, guys. Like, you need to, like, we need to have it. And if it's a player queue issue, then like put us all into one server, because I feel like that's like absolutely killing us. I really wanted to get rid of shards. But despite the fact that I like this more, that like now I'll probably grind the ladder more, I still think it's just kind of dumb. It's just like this weird, it's like not really an incentive. It's like, if you did go to the tournaments, now you then also need to grind the ladder. But otherwise, if you didn't do good in the tournaments, like no one's going to make it from ladder without also doing go to the tournaments. And I think that's just a huge issue, because, you know, we want ladder to matter, but it doesn't really. It becomes like this weird tiebreaker for a few people, which is strange. Like, that makes no sense to me.
Like, do we want ladder to matter? Do we as like competitive players
some
really
amount.
want ladder to matter? I don't know.
Yeah, so this is the thing.
I do.
It doesn't have to be part of the competitive structure. Like, if it just gave you like straight money, but that's dope. Like,
Yeah.
or like if it gave you like special skins or pets that you could only get from being like top 10, top 20, whatever on the ladder, that are just like crazy cool. You're like, I fucking want that. Awesome. Because you don't want to be playing on the ladder and have people being like, haha, like, I don't know, look at my mono fucking, I'm just trying to think of a champion that's really bad. Whatever,
Braum.
just meme deck, my mono Braum deck all day long, and just like, what's the fucking point? Like, you know, that's the big issue. Like, it became to a point like the Eternal Ladder, like I was just conceding against people because they were playing like, I don't know, Asol Zoe or something, and I was like, nope, fucking concede next, because I was trying to get like testing in for the actual tournament, and that's not what you want. You don't, as a competitive player, you don't want these games to be meaningless and have people not try, because that's not fun. It's not useful either. If anything, it's a detriment for anyone trying to get better out there. If you're playing shit games that don't matter and your opponent is like fucking around, that's giving you bad data, which is like hurting you. So Ruben Zoo
have competitive
maybe
ramifications.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Arax, what are your thoughts on competitive things you like, things you don't like, things you maybe want to change? How you feel about worlds
First of
qualifying?
all, after hearing TyGuy's story again, I want to apologize, because in the last Open, I was his third loss, and we were both pretty close, and damn, that sucks. Yeah. That really sucks. But
you guys are still talking to each other? Damn.
Look, if I'm gonna lose to anyone,
so
if I'm gonna lose to anyone, I'll lose to one of my ABG homies. All right. If I'm gonna lose to anyone, better than losing to some random. All right. Better to get this man to his like 9-0 to get to day 2 than someone else.
Fair. That's fair.
But yeah, to be fair, I'm kind of biased for this kind of competitive like format, because the last format we got with the seasonals, right? The 9-round seasonals. I missed the worlds by. It wasn't even a point. It was a time issue, because Riot sent me an email. I was on waitlist, right?
Oh, that kind of time. Sorry, I was like, the clock.
No.
I've never had problems with the clock. But sorry, different.
Riot
Okay,
sent
keep
me an
going.
email, and it was like a Friday, 2 p.m., right? And I was at work, and I just entered my shift, and I had till like, I don't know, 10 p.m. to respond to them, to answer them, and they would give me the link to the Discord server, right? And I missed that, and I missed my opportunity to actually be waitlisted because I was at work, and I was so furious. And I would actually made it because a couple of guys like dropped or stuff, and I would actually made it, but I wasn't on the Discord, so I wasn't waitlisted at all. So I was furious when that happened. Riot asked for forgiveness, because they gave me a little time to respond, but nothing could be done. So yeah, I hated that system from that point on. And when they changed the system to this one, that they give you like more time to know how you're doing. If you qualified in the first season, you know that you are already qualified. At that moment, you would only know if like you got a top 4, right? You didn't know if it was via points or whatever. You had to wait till the end. and I like this system a lot more. I think it's like very well distributed in 3 seasons, right? And only a few spots, but the right amount of spots are given to people when they are like consistent, and I love that. But yeah, I really like it. And the change that I like the most by far is the change that you could play the open at any time you want through the day. I hated having to
Yeah.
sit. Like, it started, I think, 11 p.m., 11 a.m. here in Argentina. So I have to a Saturday get up early, right, and spend the whole day. It was like 12 hours if you like made it to the end. And since I always did a 7-2, like always, I had to spend the whole day playing to lose the last round and just be waitlisted, to don't get to the second day and waste all my day. Whereas in this, you can like play anytime you want, you can take a break, etc., and just like pace it like you want it.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, Gibbs, give us your thoughts quickly before we move on to the next.
Yeah,
We'll start with you for the next one. Go the other way.
I like how they reward consistency over ladder grinding. I'm a really big fan of that. I think it'll make it more likely that the best players get the world points qualifications. The consistent tops. I like the new mechanism for the open the play the games whenever you want. I still think they have a little bit of issues to work out matchmaking wise. I remember a lot of people in the first and they were talking about weird matchups that last the day. So
Oh yeah,
hopefully Riot touches on that by the next go. But honestly, I'm super excited. I love what they're doing, and I think they're making great progress.
yeah. I think you guys nailed it. A lot of the things that are much better. I'm in agreement. I like this system way more than what they did have. There's some things that I think need tweaking. I mean, obviously, right? It's a new system, and you can see that they are making changes as they're going, and they're committed to it, and they're listening, which is fantastic. All the things that you guys mentioned, the playing on your own time. Having a tournament every month, all these things are fantastic. The gauntlets are great. The things that I like to see them change really quickly, though, are ladder. I think needs to get kind of sorted a bit. The gauntlet system, after you have the 2 buys, it becomes I have no reason to play it anymore. And also, I could see I tried to get testing in for the last Eternal one. People were just memeing so hard. No one cared at all, and so that felt bad. Just that's an easy fix though. Put more stuff towards the end, more cool stuff that you can grind towards, which is just that's be like Fortnite, right? Make cool skins, give us ways to grind towards them. One of the big things that I haven't heard anyone talk about yet is that we are a full season into qualifying for Worlds, and we don't know what we're playing for. There's that as in the prize pool distribution. That's kind of like it was you're selling lottery tickets and we don't know the prize yet, which is that's kind of messed up. And I get it. That's a Riot Corporation thing. But what's really cool when you're hey, prize pool is whatever, 200,000, 500,000, whatever the hell that is. And then you go out and you advertise and you tell people that that's the thing they can be qualifying for, instead of being a week before or a month before being this is the prize pool. People are cool. How do I qualify for that? They're there's 1 or 2 tournaments maybe at the end that you can get into. Did you play all season or try to qualify? Use it as a marketing tool. Jesus Christ. You get your own card too, which is dope as fuck.
What do you mean? We already know the prize pool.
That's all that matters. I mean, also though, they there was one sentence about that, and we haven't really heard about it. They should be screaming that from the top of the fucking Raptors, because I bet you most people don't know about that or have forgotten. And then let's see. And then, there's some weird stuff with the last chance qualifiers. We don't really know how that stuff's working and whatever. Just a little bit better on the communication. And that's all kind of systematic of Riot being a giant corporation and things moving slowly, and hopefully I just had flashback. I just had like PTSD. I was like, hopefully next year it will be better. And I kind of like twitched for a second as I like the last couple of years just being like, hopefully next year. Like,
It's so much better than it was last year.
It is. Things are getting better, so that's why I don't want to like put on things too much. Like things could also be better. Just and these are kind of like easy things to do. Just the marketing of stuff. Oh, that brings me to my last point: is the Worlds qualifiers are weird. Like the Worlds tournament, like the second one is weird. It was so weird to me that Card Gamer won the first tournament, and then Drizzle won the second one, and they're basically the exact same tournament. It's a standard tournament, same format, probably same amount of people. But Drizzle gets $5,000 and invite to Worlds, and Card Gamer got $1,000 and had to like keep grinding and try and make it. But they're basically the same tournament.
There's something you're forgetting here, Jason, and that's the mystery event. All right, you got no clue about that.
True.
Still, all right. I'm excited, waiting to hear more about that. All right, like
that's another fucking thing. Like, get your shit together. Like, get the corporate shit together. Where they're like, we're gonna try and do this. We really want to. We're not sure if they'll let us. Like, whatever. If we have the budget.
I have it on good authority that the special event is that you fly out, and Ruben Zoo assesses your wardrobe and helps you pick out a couple of outfits.
The royal fit
X.
He's like, you need brown belts with that.
Yeah.
And then he takes
I don't know if I fit the qualifications for Ruben then.
Why do you guys think of my wardrobe? The black t-shirt's gone, and I'm just Ruben. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another thing. They announced that very cool event, but like, they don't really know. People are winning this. Like, you gotta get on this shit. Get the fucking ball moving. You gotta cut through some red tape. Sometimes, they're very good. Riot's really good about like when we did coverage for them. We had 2 weeks to turn it around, and they like just made shit happen for us. And it was really awesome to see. But these are big, huge events. Lawyers get involved with all this stuff, big prize pools, and so I get it. But like, it's hurting the game. It's really hurting the game a lot, because if all this stuff was public, you could be advertising it, you could be marketing it, you'd be building the community, getting people hyped up. When you do it right before the thing happens, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's like if they're like, hey, we might have a Super Bowl, but we don't know. And it'll be sometime.
We don't even know when
February.
Worlds is happening, to be fair.
Yeah, it's like December, maybe.
It's better than Flesh and Blood currently.
Okay. Look, what did I say at the beginning of the podcast? Okay, Legends of Runeterra tournament podcast, sir. There'll be no talk of TFT, Magic the Gathering, or Flesh and Blood. Yes,
there will likely be talk of all of it at some point.
All right. Let's move it on. Competitive pool, new set, new cards. Man, coming into it, I didn't really know what to think. I played quite a bit. I got some thoughts and stuff, but let's go reverse order. We'll go back around. Let's go with Arax. Well, actually, you guys fucking switch places. Let's go with Gibs. Sorry, you're fresh. You moved around. Let's go with Gibs. Thoughts on the new cards? What you like? What you think is good? Give it to us.
So I'm really enjoy Ambush. Really fun. I think Middle has potential. Don't know what Shell performed well in. Siren Song. I was really hyped for. And now I'm kind of down on it a little bit. Now I'm back up on it. The Targon deck. So I gotta figure out what's going on with that. Aggro feels fun. That's pretty much all my opinions on this. I'm really excited to test more cards. I just haven't gotten the opportunity right.
What do you think of our Lord and Savior, the Poro King?
I think Poro King. I really was excited for Poro King. I wanted it to be good. I don't think it's good.
You sure you want it to be good?
I think it's okay. I didn't want it to be good again with other people. I wanted it to be good with me playing it. Because that would be fun.
I feel that.
But I think it's a little bit too. I think it's a little bit too slow to ramp up. So it's kind of like a time like if you can be faster than it doesn't really have much game. If you're slower than it, you still have a decent chance, but it's harder.
Arax? What do you got for
I
us?
love Nidalee, to be fair. I've been having so much fun playing Nidalee Nar. I love the deck. I think I jammed like 50 games in 6 hours or so. I've been playing that a lot. And I'm glad the porking is not good, to be fair. I didn't want to face that on a daily basis like I did yesterday, and I was already getting tired of it. But yeah, that's probably most of it. I've just played Italy, to be fair.
Cool. And do you think that deck is competitive, or are you playing it more because you just enjoy
I
it?
think the version that I'm playing it's not as competitive as it can be, right? But I think once the people like build and solve the mid-range aspect of Nidalee with like probably with Nar and Nora or Nora, but with the one drops like Bakai and Beard and stuff, and they can build a more mid-rangey deck, I think will be pretty good. Yeah, I think it's the best champ in the expansion.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, TyGuy.
Now for this expansion, I think Riot hit it out of the park with the variety cards this time, because there's a few specific things that I think are like the funniest, and coming from you who doesn't see as like much competitive cool as much competitiveness in the variety cards. I see as just more fun, like Call of Dragons, like slamming that thing down super late and like getting an A soul or two and like wiping the opponent's board is like super funny. Like, have you seen that animation? Like Aso like flies around the board. It's like it's super cool. And then also
I have
Sump
seen that
Monument.
animation. He flies around the board and then he does not fly into my hand, and then
And then also Sump Monument is really cool. Dave Bow made a deck on Twitter where it's like, what if we turn Bloodbait into the high roll card off of Coral Creatures? Where if you get like take this like big hit from some like mid-rangey deck, you play your Sump Monument, play your Bloodbait, you're no longer taking any Puffcat damage. You like swing in with like elusives, like have like a big BB turn, and like all of a sudden you just like were immune for an extra turn, and your opponent can be dead. That's what I'm having the most fun seeing.
I've seen it. I've seen it actually work. I played against a Teemo Caitlyn like Puffcat deck, and I was playing like Annie Jin. I was beating the crap out of them, as you do. They're like 1 or something. No, they were not 1. They must be a little higher than that. But like it was getting close, and then they just dropped the monument, and I was like, oh, like now they they got like 25 cards in their deck. Like I can only deal them so much, and they're probably like 6 or something. Like it's going to take me a while to like fill their library full of puff caps and like actually deal them that last 6. So they were able to just fucking get me. And so I think that the card's better than I thought it was going to be. And I think there's going to be ways to abuse it, if not now, eventually.
Counterpoint, I played a control deck against that deck, and they played it, and I was like, you're still not dealing any damage to me. They just played like 3 mana, do nothing, and I was like, yep.
Who plays control? In this meta? In this economy?
Oh, nice landmark you got there. Walks in with like my 3x aftershocks or whatever. Like all my Seraphine landmark removal. Like,
Yep. All right, go ahead. You're up.
I go next?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, coming in, I thought the set wasn't like super powerful, and that was like my like first reaction, which is kind of skimming it. And I was afraid that we would end up with the same meta as before, which is the worst thing that can ever happen, basically, as everyone's just like, fuck this, been doing this for a month or two, I'm out. And who knows, that might still happen, but I don't think so from what I'm seeing early on. Now, if anything, I'm a little bit concerned. First off, the meta has been super cool, and I love that people are into the Poro King, whether it's good or not. It's sitting at a solid 45% win percentage right now, but it's by far the most played deck. It's like 2 of the top 3, and that's cool. I'm all for, like, sets don't need to be for me specifically, as long as they're like cool and people are having fun and there's lots of new stuff for people to explore, which it seems like the set has definitely hit out of the park. I will say though that the new Argon Evelyn deck, I don't know if it's gonna be a problem, but it's like I think it's a problem in the sense of like if you draw a Siren Song and go off, like you go off so fucking hard, it's absurd. And if you don't, the deck can kind of just fall apart. And that kind of what do you call that? What's the word for here?
Variance.
Polarized. That polarization where it's either like you can't win, I can't win. You can't win, I can't win. Is like not what we typically want to see in the game. So I'm keeping an eye on that because that's definitely it's like the deck with the highest win percentage right now. It is coming down. It was like in the 70s. Now it's at like 63%.
It hit 70
over like 555 games.
It was very high.
Yeah.
It was also like, let's keep in mind anything that's good against Poros is going to be like absolutely crushing numbers right now.
Yeah, they're
and
inflated.
that deck is very good against Poros because it actually just gets bigger, and they can't like really interact. Not that the deck's bad. I'm gonna be playing it on stream to try it out and everything today, but like, yeah. Right now, stats are like, oh, this deck's crushing everything. And it's like, wait, no, it's just crushing Poros and it's like doing pretty good against other things.
Yeah, meta is like really wide open and like in a good way. It's not, I feel like it's going to remain somewhat open for a little while. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in best of 3 because like it's so wide right now. And like even decks like Poro King, it's like, oh, maybe it's not good, blah, blah, blah. But, like there's definitely some decks that it just craps on. And like that's sometimes what you want in a tournament lineup. You're like, I need to beat these. I'm gonna ban these, and like it might see some decent play, which is kind of fucking cool. Because I thought the card was just terrible when I first saw it. I was like, this is not good. It's not a good champion. But like, nah, it doesn't work. It can do some work for sure. Like lists are still getting refined and stuff. And so, I played Annie Jin at first. I fun policed. I beat up on a bunch of people. Did great. Stopped winning in diamond. And then I played a lot of Samira Jinx. It was doing good. Actually, I went from like top platinum to diamond with that. And then I've been kind of stuck at diamond too. I've tried the Targon Evelyn deck quite a bit. And like sometimes I just blow my fucking opponents out of the water. I'm like, you can't possibly win. And then sometimes I'm the one playing like Samira Jinx against them. And I'm like, hey, got you to like 1. And they're like, you know, play Siren Song, make some Haas, play the 1-drop that gets lifelink. And just like fucking get you, ride that guy to the end of time, and like that doesn't
Kale?
feel good. Yeah, I tried Kale's shit. Don't play Kale.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like it's 5-mana dude. They play the other 5-drop now that also gets lifesteal and like pumps all your guys.
Mihiri.
Broadened.
Oh, finally!
Yeah, it's so
I've been
good.
waiting to play Mihiri.
Yeah, so just play you can check out the only Evelyn versions. And like that's the thing, the deck is still, that list is still getting tightened up also. So we'll see. It's at least it's mixed up. All I ever want is a new meta that's exciting. Lots of people. We broke lots of records on masteringruneterra.com. The shit is popping off. Something like 40,000 individuals visited the website yesterday.
Wow.
So people are enjoying the set a lot, and like I am also I'm actually going to be playing a lot of Karma set. I'm gonna be the fucking Karma set person, still beating up on a lot of people with it. I love that deck. I enjoy it.
That deck a lot, man. Like
I
like the sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Who are you in? You go, just go.
Oh, okay. I've been enjoying the deck a lot more now that it's not like the deck, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I like the Shadow Isles version now that we have an actual draw spell, because like before it just couldn't keep up with the PNZ one because the PNZ one had formula plus the 2/2, the 2/2 elusive.
Oh, do you play the Ionia draw? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the new one. Because I saw that card and I was like, this card's dog shit, but it's like actually so insane for like the non PNZ versions.
Yeah, I thought
it's like
the
such
same.
a big deal.
That makes sense. I'm still gonna play PNZ because I like to make things go pew pew pew. So
it's still really good.
But yeah, love me some Karma. Okay, Majin, give us your thoughts. I know this, you were like me, this that wasn't like, you know, there's not a bunch of cards that say like 1 mana draw, do something, or like there was a 3/3 that made all your spells cost 3. Like what is this bullshit? Like another one that countered things. But what have you have so far? What have you actually played with? What have you been enjoying?
I was just kicking people in the teeth with Nico for most of early access and day one. Then I don't know, Nico like is not people like aren't playing it, and they're not playing it to a ton of success, which surprises me because like I'm killing people on turn 5 or I'm casting champion strength on turn 6.
Someone killed me on like fucking turn 4 or something. They dropped the 3-drop that made everything cheaper, and then they just emptied their fucking hand, and then they Nico, and like I was like, what just happened?
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
That's really good. That's really good. People
maybe it was 5, but it was like it was fast as shit.
People aren't really playing it. I don't really know why, and it seemed like, judging from just my YouTube videos, Nico was the champion people are least interested in.
Yeah, it's because it's harder to play around. Like it's like put a spider and a bird. I'm like, this is so dumb. But then you play the 3-drop that discounts all your stuff, and you're like free guy, cost one, and like you just swarm them. It's ridiculous.
I really like it with the 5-drop elite, the new one, the 3/3, because you can tutor out a unit out of the top 5, which is like busted because you can pick Froop, the new mayor, or you could pick Nico. And you could just, so like I had double Nico and I was like, haha, everything gets +2/+2 forever. And so that's cool. But yeah, like you mentioned, nothing really like jumping out at me. The most exciting card for me was Age of Dragons, which isn't like the most competitive card currently, but it is a good time. And then obviously Set Karma got a card, which is pretty nice. But if I have to wait, I'm really hoping now that we have like subtypes for all the animals, that means next set I get Zaya and Rakan, because I really, really want Zaya and Rakan.
Yes, I know what that is. If you want to explain for people that do not know. From League?
They're they're Vestian, which means they're probably going to be in Ionia. And Zaya's one of my favorite League of Legends characters, champions. And then Rakan is one of my brother's favorite League of Legends champions. So really looking forward to them.
No. Okay, well, we are pushing up against an hour here. ABG boys, was there any things you guys wanted to specifically talk about or bring up on the cast? Okay, silent and strong. I like it.
I'm just excited for. Oh, sorry. I'm just excited for the next seasons. I'm hoping to make my world's qual. After taking like a 1-point defeat, I'm hoping to make it back. We had one ABG member make it. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking out his name? Krios. Yes, thank you, Gibbs. Krios made it to Worlds. He's I think a ton of points. He played very well and consistently. I'm hoping to get myself in there, get one of our other members in there. Gibbs made top 4 in the Open that I won. It was really cool seeing like 2 of us make top 4 in the same Open and play so well. I'm just hoping that we as a team can continue playing well.
Yeah, for sure. TyGuy, do you know, after you won the Eternal Open, because typically there would only be 3 tournaments. This one got a little wonky because there was 4. But after you won, what was the cutoff to make like top 3 in points? I'm trying to get like a gauge for people if you guys happen to know like what's the number that you kind of like, or like, yeah, I guess like after the 3rd tournament. So we don't want to do it at the end because there were 4 tournaments. So I'm trying to figure out like what it was or would have been after 3 tournaments. I know like Kato was like super close. I think he had like 17 points or 18 points or something.
Kato was like a little lower. I think he was like at 14, 13. I might be wrong about that. But like where I was at was 17. Like I was like very guaranteed for top 3 with ladder points. Like 17 after 3 tournaments was like very good. And I feel like in seasons 2 and season 3 here, it'll be a little lower actually. Because, some of our like, I feel like
more points being added to the tournaments.
But yeah, there's like there's like it might be a little different with like how the points are adjusted, but I feel like with like less most consistent players like being in there for the point running, it'll decrease the points you need to get to. So like in the future seasons it might be like 15 or 16 you need to get to instead of like 17 to get that like auto qualification. Where like you'd be guaranteed for top 3 with ladder points.
Right. So is there a number that you're trying to shoot for? That you think like this is like
if I hit 17 again, I know I'm making it, Like if I hit 17 again, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it. But I think some people might still make it like a 15 or a 16 even. So
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. You get more points in the Worlds qualifier, right?
Yeah, you get
Yeah. So I'll hark on that again. This thing makes no sense to me. That the first tournament and the second tournament are the exact same format with the exact same players. One of them just happens to give a bunch more money and points. Like, how does that make any sense? It doesn't. I mean,
the
I
same
get
format we've had since seasonals, right? Like it's just the same tournament.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean though. Like if you win the first one, someone wins the second one in the same tournament, and you're like, I got $1, and they're like, I got $1 million. You're like, fuck, how is this fair? Like it doesn't really make sense. And then I would like to see that even down because that just creates some weird feel bads and like I hate to see someone win the first one. Like if Card Gamer didn't make it and just lost it, I'm just like, it feels kind of unfair. I don't know. And then the other thing is like, yeah, and the other thing is coverage. Okay, sorry, you go.
I guess what really matters is how highly you value Ruben helping you out with your wardrobe. What's the monetary value there?
I feel like some of you guys see that more than I do. So Ruben's, I get that for free though. I'm DMing Ruben all the time. Like, what do you think of this one?
Hey.
Huh? Anyways, and then also coverage. We talked about this with Alan, and he was like, them doing coverage for one instead of all three makes it a little bit more special. I was like, okay, that's true. But the thing that I really disliked was I'm like tied into the competitive scene, and I still didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't really know, especially the other shards. I didn't even know like who won or like what decks won or what the point race looked like, or I have no idea who's qualified. I don't even really know who's qualified if the Americas won. I kind of know. I'm like, I guess Card Gamer made it, and they're like, you guys just let us know your guy made it. I'm kind of like piecing this together. This should be like something that like people just know. Like when Magic coverage was really good, they're like, here's the points race, here's what people are doing, here's how people are crushing, here's who's going to drop out of qualification, here's who needs to have a good finish, here's who's winning and at the top and the best, and they like made stars out of them. And we're really missing that. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just random tirade. I wish we had that because I think that's a big problem with building up this competitive scene. Is like, okay, I'm gonna rant here for 2 seconds. They do this shift to competitive. They're like, we want to serve competitive people, so we're gonna have these tournaments. We're gonna have worlds be cross shard. Put some more money in it. You get your own card, but then you don't promote it enough publicly so that you get more and more players in it, and you don't create stars or a narrative throughout the year so that the community can get hyped and you can build the community and the players and the content creators around it. So it's like you made the shell and then there's no like beating heart inside it, and you're like, why isn't this robot fucking walking? Like, why isn't it working? And that's how I see competitive right now. And I think those things are a big problem. And you could look back at the year and be like, competitive doesn't work, esports don't work. It's like, well, you forgot to put the fucking battery in the machine, so it didn't run. That's my 2 cents on it. I don't know. Thoughts? Okay, real quick. What do you guys think about that?
Oh my god, I gotta go.
No, I think that's.
Good.
I think it's kind of fair criticism. I mean, we can always wish for more advertisement and such, but I feel like LOR is at least doing a pretty good job, at least from like the more casual player side. Like they released the new like Nidalee song thing for the expansion, which is super cool. Like a ton of people listening to it on Spotify. Like a lot of the competitive adjacent content and like the reveal season was like all unique too. It's like I think that's doing like really well, and I don't know much I guess like advertisement wise, but. Coming in from like a little more casual point of view, I think they're doing a good job with that. So, at least they're trying new things, and it's seeing some success with some people. So I can't, personally harp on them too much for not advertising as much competitive if the more casual side is doing so well.
I think,
yeah, fair enough.
The term in MMOs, the lateral content term, right? I think they're doing like lateral advertisement, like you just talked about with the song. And for example, Legends of Runeterra now appears as an artist in Spotify, right? You can look it up and you just type Legends of Runeterra and he's an artist, and you have music from the game in Spotify, and that's great. But yeah,
It's really cool.
I also think that you need like more direct advertisement towards the game, right? Towards the competitive scene and stuff. Because if you invest so much time, so much infrastructure, and so much like money in it, why not like throw a couple more bucks and just advertise, not for everyone, but like for other competitive gamers out there, like Magic gamers, Yu-Gi-Oh gamers, and stuff that they don't know what's happening. Like they don't get into lore because they are competitive like sharks, and they just want to compete, and they don't know that they can compete in lore at a very high level and with very high stakes.
Yeah, exactly. That was really the only point that I was trying to get at. It was that if I, who's the person who could not be more invested in the game, doesn't really know what's going on, that's probably a bit of a problem. Whereas like a game like Magic that I used to play a lot, I barely play at all now. They do a pretty good job of like putting out weekly releases and being like, here's the stuff that's happening. Here's like how you qualify for it. Here's how you play. Here's the dates and time. And I'm like, oh, I know I can get this thing, and I'm up to date immediately. That's all. Just only point. But things are getting better, and hope they continue doing so. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining us. I know there's a million of you, and we could only fit so many of you guys on at once, but we'll for sure have more of the team on in the future. We got to wrap it up. Majin needs to go and lose games with Poro King. Thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you guys next week.